have stories. Every single one of us. From the highest of the high to the lowest of the low, we all have stories. Exploring the world for the greatest stories of all time.
Hello and welcome. You're listening to the Aron O'Dowd Show.
The Aron O'Dowd Show. Our soul is the screen upon which we project our dreams. What's your story?
Hello and welcome everybody to another incredible show of the Aron O'Dowd Show. Your host, the mostest. Make sure you like, subscribe, and smash that like button because we've got another incredible guest as always. This man's on a mission to create wellness in Ireland and around the world to show that we need to be in a space of harmony and happiness. Hello and welcome to the show, Francis Valloor. How are you doing?
I'm very good. Thank you, Aron. Thank you for having me on.
Tell us where the mission and the vision and the drive came to do what you do, man.
Many years ago, that's when I was young and 20 years old, I came in contact with this great man called Anthony Di Mello. Di Mello was a good friend since then, and he set up a center in India called Sadhana Institute of. He was a psychologist and professionally, and I went with him to a long meditation retreat. 10 days, we called a Buddhist retreat, and that in those days, awareness retreat, there was no mindfulness in those days. And so a combination of this is what he had at the center, the spirituality of this kind and the psychology that was experiential. It created big waves across the world. Some 25, 30 nationalities, people were coming there and took off big time. After he died, I took over because he had inspired me to take both these things very seriously. And so that was the starting point of my, I went to America and did my clinical psychology studies. And I did this meditation practices of different kinds of Zen and this. And then we continued that. And we brought it to a very good level of professionalism. And not academic center, but professional in the sense of experiential, using what helps people. Do only that, not theories and ideas and things like that, not academic. This was our strong point. People should come. When they come, they should change. And otherwise, it is not worth it. That's my background.
Wow. And were you wanting to become a psychologist?
Yes. From those days, I decided that's what I'm going to do. And then I went and continued the training. He was very happy to have me study psychology, and made sure that I went to the best of places we could find in those days in America. And because he said, when we do something, we have to do it really well in a way that helps people. And we are in it for that purpose only. The transformation of people and their lives should change. And it's nothing less than that would work.
Wow. And growing up spiritually and meditating, was that part of your life before or after that?
Both. I continued that. Except that meditations have changed, and it's not like the sake of sitting and meditating. There's a big change. In the first days, would you believe the time of meditation was 11 hours a day for 10 days?
Wow.
Sitting in meditation. I loved it so much. And you know how old I was? I was 20. I loved it so much that I, on my own, went for 6 months later, I went and did it myself under the same meditation teacher, a very famous person. And I continued that every day, 3 hours, 2 hours, 3 hours, meditating every year, a few. And all courses in sadhana at that center started like that. with a 10-day meditation retreat. So we
Um,
were, it was a residential program there. Only people were staying there, healthy people, people in leadership. So that is what and a 2-year waiting list, because there are so many people wanted to come there, and people in leadership used to be selected for that, to do that. People who influence people.
I love that quote, how people influence people. Come meditate, let's be in silence, let's do this, all that. And probably that's what you're experiencing through your teachings, right?
No, meditation was only part of that meditation, but they had to do a lot of psychological psychotherapy work and things that actually, whatever helped them change. And De Mello had a very big, powerful personality, and he was very widely known across the world, and an amazing, charismatic personality. And he was a big name in America and Spanish-speaking countries and so on. And he wrote, he spoke, and especially young people were in the universities and so on would go and listen to him. So he told me also that I should take it up and continue this and take it across the world. So I started conducting seminars across the world, like in Ireland and in United States, of course, and in India and different places. I used to do this. It's like 8 days, 5 days, weekends, different seminars like that. Always a very big change in this that he introduced and I continued was psychology by itself doesn't help. We need what he called awareness. In those days, there was no mindfulness. Mindfulness started the year after he died. And so this is what we had. So the integration of these started there. These techniques and this psychological work and so on, by themselves, he said, it's not good enough. It doesn't help enough. And plus, anytime we try to use change by techniques and efforts and willpower, that change is not good enough. That doesn't last. When you take off take the foot off your willpower, you are sliding back into the old ways. So it doesn't work like. Instead of that, go from within. It's an inside out approach of awareness first. With that awareness, doesn't matter what technique you are using, but do something that helps people with a combination. And I assure you, from the very beginning, from the day of my starting to my professional work, I followed that approach only. We would be trained in all kinds of stuff, anything that I would see, this would help people. This is a very good approach. I would go for it. That is why the body-oriented approaches came very naturally to me to go into those things, because the meditation is not sitting there and dreaming. It is awareness of the body, of the sensations, of your thinking and your emotions, and come from there. And all of these things had a purpose, The interesting thing about this, the personal transformation was what it was all about. And De Mello would say, do not take anything for granted. Do not take what other teachers are telling you. He said, even the Buddha said, would quote him, Buddha said, do not accept what anybody tells you. Not even the Buddha, he said, but check everything out. Now, this is coming from the Buddha. He says, test everything like a goldsmith tests gold by cutting, scraping, rubbing, melting. See if it fits. Don't take it otherwise.
Wow.
And then, so this attitude of questioning, do not take any teachers as like your teacher. Have no teacher. If you follow other people, you will not be yourself. That is why this famous sentence that is often quoted, if you find the Buddha on the road, kill him. If you are a follower, you will remain a follower.
Mm-hmm.
That is true. That is true. Even Jesus, he would say, you are the light. About us.
Yeah.
And so you don't follow anybody else. Follow your own in that path, that within. So it comes from within. That awareness, that healing should come from within us. The light should shine from within us, not follow other people's lights. This was the teaching, and I have been doing precisely that.
So that is the concept that you bring into your psychology and your teachings, that we all are
Correct.
the lighthouse of
Yeah.
ourselves.
Yeah. And one more thing, Aaron, what he did was, what the way that we followed was, it is not sitting and meditating that matters. Sit there and meditate. So what about life? So he said, bring meditate minimum. Hmm? Instead, bring awareness into your life. Either this what we call mindfulness these days. Bring it into life, into work, in your relationship, and that is more important than sitting and meditating. Sitting and meditating is not going to do anything to you unless you apply it into your life.
Mm. And
And
the
that is
word
a very
mind.
powerful thing to say, huh? But
No, go ahead.
yes.
Sorry, go ahead.
So this is that was revolutionary in those days when he started to say that. That is when he was going around teaching and so on. He was teaching this. Um, don't sit and meditate there. Come and live. Hmm? If whatever your profession, your career, your work, your home, family, relationships, all those things should be touched by awareness. That will change you.
Wow. And is this something you feel that you have to bring to the world through your own psychology and teachings?
Yes, that's exactly what I am trying to do. And my work, and what I would do, with all the meditations, one interesting, very important thing that we learned from this was, why were we sitting and doing those 10 days of meditation? And some people do longer than that. And all those things, meditation teacher made it very clear. We do all this, paying attention to your breathing and your sensations and all that, to come to the last 2 days and is focused on one thing only, one meditation, that is loving kindness in English translation, meditation on loving kindness, compassion. That is the purpose. To love, compassion, that is the purpose of all the meditation. Be a person who exudes this, whose life is full of this love and compassion. That is the most healing thing in all this. After all these years of practice, um, I have come to the unshakable conclusion that this is the way to healing. Love is the only thing that's the most powerful thing in our. That's the highest frequency, as love
Yeah.
is the frequency. And Einstein made a comment, made a statement: medicine of the future will be medicine of frequency.
Wow.
Well, absolutely true, except not the future. That was so in the past also, where healing took place. Healing didn't take place because somebody was taking that medicine or this medicine. Those medicines are useless if if it is not accompanied by the right vibration, the right frequency. Doesn't heal us. Like the author of Love, Medicine, and Miracles, Bernie Siegel, but writing about that, that's the same principle. Love is the big healer. All our techniques are helpful. So when I do all this work with all this, the superb psychological training that I had, very good training. I was very happy with that amazing training that I got, and so many teachers that I had. At the end of all those things, it is this: how can a person be restored to himself or herself? How can we remove the obstacles that are standing in the way to making this person a full person? Um, Real healing is only that: make this person a person of love, a person who is capable of loving again and be complete and full. And we are all that we are doing with these techniques and so on to remove the obstacles. Many of them are past hurts and um, the how life has been for them, conflicts and struggles and abuses and violence, all kinds of things that have affected them, to remove the impact of these things so they can love again.
What
This
do you
is my
love?
point.
I think it's an amazing point. And what do you love what you do, Francis?
What I love,
Yes.
human beings first. But love is love for all beings. But I thought it would be limited to that. Actually, if you love everything and everyone, really. Because I never thought come a day that I would love these dogs and cats and animals and so on like the way I do. I never thought so. It's not because of the cats and dogs, because of the changes that I've experienced within me. If you love all, starting with yourself. In those meditations, it's very interesting. He asked us, always the starting point is you. Only to the extent that you love yourself, you love other people. This is the self-love is the core of all those things. And when I work with somebody who has been in I have had a lot of people over the years with traumas and serious pain, suffering that they have gone through. You know, what really changes them is this one: my concern for them, my love for them, and the techniques and so on are very helpful, and I have very powerful tools for that. But that's secondary. When they begin to realize that they are in a safe place, they are there is an atmosphere of compassion and kindness and love for them, then they will change. It's inevitable. They will change
Wow.
if they want, of course.
Yeah, that's it. It's always the choice I want.
Of course, we can. Nobody can. We cannot help anybody without their unless they also want.
For sure. Why are you here, Francis, to do what you need to do?
Um, would you say that once more?
Why are you? Let me phrase this a little bit differently. Why are you here on Earth to do what you need to do?
Why am I doing what I am doing?
Yes, and why are you here to, like, God gave you a mission? What is your mission?
This is, it's really. I have often thought about this. In fact, reflected about this. It is to the extent why I can't help it. This is like a commitment. It is um, like I'm sent on a mission. It's like I this is what I'm here for. It's like it's a certain inevitability, or I don't choose to do this. It is almost like that's me. This is the way I'm only living out my life. My mission in this world, in this life, is to be like this. That was always the case, and it has something also definitely something to do with the spiritual side of life, of me, of a commitment that I am very grateful for, actually, though I am doing all these things. Happy to
Well,
be doing this.
it sounds like you're very happy, and we sometimes think I should do this, I shouldn't do this, but I get the feeling that this is your passion, your mission, you're driven, and I want to achieve this in the world so people can be harmony and happy. Is that correct?
Absolutely. In fact, a very interesting thing about, they say that we don't get tired, or when if it's something that we enjoy doing. I don't actually. When I help people, when I spend time and energy working with people, it doesn't kind of, I feel I don't get burned out doing this work. I don't feel stressed. I don't feel Sometimes it's very challenging, all right, that is true. Um, but it is not, it doesn't drain me because I'm doing something that suits me. It's like my passion. It's good just to say my passion is compassion. And this and my work as a psychologist is an expression of that, a way of doing that. And people in suffering, help them, people who are suffering, help to alleviate their pain. And the center, and also in the middle of all those things, what I have been, Nimello had said that, he said, you have to go and do something like this when your time comes. And of all, and place that he had in mind was Ireland. He left Ireland. He had a great, Ireland had a big place in his heart. So he said, do that, start here. And what was this for? He said, people in this part of the world, shouldn't have to go all the way to India for this purpose. We should make it available to people wherever they are. And this is a good start to have it here. So a place where people can experience what we are talking about. It makes a big difference, actually. It's one thing to have theories and ideas that people can connect with and so on. It's inspiring and etc. But it's very different when it's made available. And as long as we are human beings with space and time constraints and limitations, those things are also necessary part of our life. So if people can actually physically have the experience, we are based somewhere, and from here we work and we make ourselves available. I say we because it's not just me. It's a few of us who believe in this. We are together on this one, working together to make it happen here.
For sure, and it's from listening to you, it sounds like this man was your spiritual guru. Is that correct?
He was, but he was. I didn't feel like that. He was like more like an older brother kind of a feeling than a guru, though many people would think of him like that. And it was because of him I said I'm not going to go to any gurus and people like that. Though I was very fortunate to have great people in my life, to have gone to the best of them, like him, like many others in India and outside, who in my field of psychology, I had the best of them in America, really, and really outstanding psychologists that I trained under over the years. But when it came to the spiritual thing also, different types of, that is not limited to Christian Catholic thing only. And so Buddhist and Hindu. And I studied in all kinds of, studied all these different traditions and Zen and some inklings of bit of Sufis and things like that. I began to develop interest in all of those things. He did too. So that this is what was been happening, and we are passing it on to other people. But we find it will be very helpful for people.
What is the dream you want to leave as a legacy, Francis?
The legacy of healing. The legacy of healing is not for the sake of healing. Healing is to live a happy, full, complete life. To be this person is able to live a happy life and can love again. This is really how human beings we love. We can be. I think we are complete only when we are brought to that level of here is this person who was suffering so much, and when we suffer we cannot think about anybody else except ourselves because we are suffering. But when we don't suffer, where we stopping suffering is a great achievement. Stop suffer, we are loving. And we love again, and that is The legacy, if I were to say, that's the legacy that I got from the great ones, the legacy of the Buddha, of Jesus, and those people who were inspired by him, and by that legacy of love. Jesus one was love one another, and then it's always love others as you love yourself. Always that's the starting point. Same way the Buddha also, always love is the most important thing in this life, in this world. Now scientists, and I have a lot of interest in this neurology, neuropsychology, and I trained in that also, among many the other things. So I watch with fascination the research that is going into these days to see how the neural system is working to facilitate healing when it happens, and how sometimes it can be done that quickly because the neurons are, or the communication is happening very well in the neurons. That is what I am interested in. They're very much interested in this because we are seeing powerful, effective healing can take place quickly, and there the vibration, the frequency of love is the highest and the best for people, human beings. That's the and the divine frequency is the frequency of love, frequency of healing.
Healing's used a lot here, Francis. What
Yeah,
do you think healing is for an individual, or what's the process? What's your opinion of it in some way?
the process itself, for many people, they it some people it takes time and energy of getting there, but if they can be open to healing quicker, faster, they have to do. First thing, the process is they have to want it. You can't be healed against your will. The second thing is, I do not think of me as a healer. I don't have the power to heal anybody. I'm only an instrument through which healing can go to another person, to heal them. And more and more and more, when I realize I'm only a channel of healing, I'm not a healer. I don't have any such powers. Another important thing I realize also over the years is that no human being has the power to make us happy or unhappy or create any feelings in us. We say, you make me very happy. No, I don't make you very happy. I have no such power. Or you made me angry. I don't have power to make anybody angry or hurt, etc. This is important because people often misunderstand this. When somebody comes to me and we work on this process of healing, we ask, we look at this, what happened to this person? Sometimes they take the victim role. They did this to me, they did that to me. Okay, well, fine. Do you want to do anything, or do you want to continue to sing those sad songs in your life? But they did that. Yeah, but it's true. I have no reason to disagree with you. But what do you want to do? Do you want to change this? Change the story. Your story has to change. Would you want that? Only when they begin to say, yes, I want that, I want to stop that, from that time onwards, when they decide that, it can be very quick. Otherwise, it can be years. Nothing will happen. That process can be as quick. This is what I love. I enjoy doing this, watching this sometimes, of how quickly a person has changed. What gives me great joy, I feel so happy when I sometimes tell them, I will be a cheerleader for you when I see you happy and sing your song of love in your life, and you are happy again. Why I keep saying about it, not healing is secondary. Being a transformed human being whose heart is there beating, and that heart is loving again, that one I would say, yes, that's what we are after.
Wow.
Healing is only a means to that purpose.
Mm-hmm. Francis, if you have any pearls or wisdom or any insights that would empower the audience, what would it be?
The most important thing I would say about this one is to start with yourself. Always, when we begin to see, yes, I won, it's not other people. You know, very interesting thing about this. We often see this. Um, if my father were a little nicer to me, I'll be happy. Young fella says. Hmm? If my girlfriend were nice to me or loves me back, I'll be happy. And I would say instead of that, why don't you change that and say, be happy first. Your girlfriend will love you. Your If you change, your your boyfriend will be better to you towards you or somebody else. In that case, somebody who's complaining about how nice, how bad they are, how unfriendly they are, and so on. You change first. That happens to workplaces also. Somebody who's complaining about their manager or their boss, then they begin to say, you cannot change somebody. You don't have the power to change other people. But if you change, you will notice a miracle taking place. Again and again, this is substantiated by people's experiences. They would say, yes, I don't know what is happening there. My wife is different, or my husband is different, or my boss is different now. Did you have a conversation about it now? Not yet. Still changed because you changed. It's always the point about this. That is the miracle of awareness is that when you change, people around you begin to also change without you doing anything about it or making them change. You can, of course, you can do things. You have to talk about this or you have to, but that is not what makes a change happen. What you set off within you begins to it is contagious. Healing is contagious. If you notice this something, when you have a loving person in a group or community and so on, see how people are affected by that. Now that is a substantiatable kind of a claim, because they found in communities where there is a certain number of people who meditate and so on, the vibration in that community changes, crime goes down, etc. Crime levels and so on in that place goes down. This has been validated. So also one more thing I want to say about me is that I'm trying to take my experience and the work that I'm doing to workplaces where people can experience this. People can begin to, because after all, a significant part of anybody's life is at work, and so to bring it into their workplaces and to introduce compassion, kindness in workplaces and transform that without that's the best thing to do to that is, in fact, not long ago, Stanford University started a program on this compassionate workplaces, and their name of the course for business students is cultivating mindfulness and compassion in workplaces. And that course became very popular. And one of their most popular courses, apparently. So Stanford University, and so Harvard and Wharton, they all started offering courses like that. And that became, then they started doing, and the big businesses I think Microsoft has taken it, and to Unilever, I think 3-4 big businesses also began to apply the principles of this, actually bringing it in their workplaces. They began to notice lots of big changes in the workplace, that the atmosphere began to change, the relationships began to change, the communications between people, and overall, they began to notice that absenteeism became less sick leaves, less legal problems. Overall, Actually, they began to find the workplace, the profit levels of businesses that applied went up. Instead of thinking, if you are nice to these workers, they won't work. Far from it, they did the opposite. They worked better. Because loyalty begets loyalty. Kindness brings on more kindness. It spreads like that. The whole atmosphere of the workplace is changed because through this kindness and compassion. And that it is not done just crazy. You can do whatever you want. No, people also can give feedback, and they receive feedback well if it is done kindly. So overall, it is a very successful thing. And this is what I have also been trying to do, work with businesses and business leaders. They have to buy this first. The business leaders have to apply them to themselves and to say, yes, I want that because I know it helps. The former CEO of LinkedIn was one of the people who was very keen on this one. Our compassionate workplaces promoted that, believed in that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Francis, if anyone wants to come and support you or help you or get your mission, your vision, and your passion to the world, where can they find you?
I have one is, of course, my website that you have given, De Mello Institute. That is my own business, personal business. And the other one, that's where they'll find information about me. And the foundation that we have set up is what we have there on the Sadhana Foundation. That is the non-profit that we have going on, beginning to take off. So this is where both places you'll find me. Then I'm also available on LinkedIn, less on other social media yet.
Fantastic, Francis. I want to say thank you so much. Wow, you're mindful of information. Instead of going to Google, go to Dr. Francis and he'll tell you everything about psychology and meditation, mindfulness. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Aron. Thank you very much. And in fact, if you would say mine of information, I'm less interested in nowadays in information, more interested in transformation.
Wow, there you go, everybody. It just shows you we can transform ourselves through the frequency of love and be a whole different individual to the person we want to be. So remember, tune in next Tuesday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 p.m. UK time for another incredible guest, because we all want to transform each other. And make sure you like, subscribe, and tell me what you think, what your comments are, what you thought. And remember, rock on, because you're awesome.
Thank you for listening to the Aron O'Dowd Show, where the world's best stories are told. If you like, please post a review or subscribe to the show. To find out more, contact us at aronodowd.com. That's ARONODOWD.com. We're always ready to share another magnificent tale from the world's best storytellers. So stay tuned.